So I just got off the phone with someone who wanted to work with me. Basically, they were offering me paid work, and I'm in a state where I am not making really basically any money right now. And I said no. Let me explain. This is going to be a little bit woo-woo, and the reason I've got it planned here is mostly for the visual hook of the video, but it's also representative of growth and transformation. So this year, 2026, has been a really transformational year for me, a really difficult year. In Jan and Feb, I exited my agency. That was a really emotional and challenging process, dealing with this kind of failure narrative and having to lay off a bunch of staff and, you know, all of the repercussions of that. And since then, I've spent 4 or 5 months trying to figure out what the fuck I want to do next. And what has been really tricky is I was not excited about anything. And I think part of that is because I was dealing with some grief of shutting down the agency, which I didn't really realize at the time. But I think the other part was that I have a very strong internal sense of authenticity. And so if something doesn't feel like aligned, then I just don't care. Like if I don't care about it, I don't care. But what I have found is it took me a long time to land on something that I genuinely care about. Now, I've been doing a bunch of training throughout this year, learning NLP with Amy Bell, which has been really, really helpful to this process. And just this last weekend, we went through this really transformational chunk of training where I basically feel like I've learned to be my own best friend and to like love myself a bit more. So this video is a little bit woo-woo. It's a little bit like heartfelt and transformational and growth and learning and that kind of stuff, and probably a little bit too long. It's longer than it should be, and it's way too much emotion for, you know, short form content for someone who's pursuing business. But you know what? The thing is, through this whole process, I have found that getting really clear on what you want and having a really clear intention is like so important. And the fact that I got a call from this guy, Scott, today, who said, hey, we want to work with you to help us do this specific thing. And I said to him, hey, look, good news and bad news. Good news is I know what I'm doing right now. The bad news is it's not what you want me to do for you. And and he was like, hey, thanks for the candor and just being like super transparent. And I was like, yeah. When you know what you're working on, it is really, really clear and easy to say what's in and out. And I know where I'm heading. I guess the takeaway from this video is like, it's so easy to get pulled in a million different directions by the world. Once you know what you want, then everything becomes much clearer. Yeah, it took me a while to figure this out, and it took me a while to kind of land on the thing, but getting clear, getting aligned, getting congruent, getting conviction around that has been a really, really powerful process.